Let's proceed to layer. Egg industry. The more than 300 million chickens used each year for their eggs and endure a nightmare that lasts for 2 years. Hens in egg factories have a large portion of their break cuts off with a burning hot blade within hours or days of birth. No painkillers are used. Birds are in pain both during and after the procedure. Chicks who often have a hard time eating and drinking after their beaks are mutilated, can suffer from hunger and dehydration because their food and water intake is greatly reduced for several weeks after the procedure. Hens are then shoved into tiny wire battery cages which measures roughly 18 inches by 24 inches and hold up to 10 hens. Each home has a wingspan up to 36 inches. Even in the best case scenario, a hen spends her life crowded in a space about the size of a file drawer with several other hens unable to lift a single wing. The birds are crammed so closely together that although normally clean animals, they are forced to urinate and defecate on one another. The stench of ammonia and feces hangs heavy in the air, and the disease runs rampant in the filthy. Cramped shades, many birds are often forced to live with their dead and dying cagemates, who are sometimes left to rot. The light in the shades is constantly manipulated to maximize egg production. For 2 weeks at a time, the hens are fed only reduced calorie feed. This process induces an extra laying cycle. Male chicks are worthless to the egg industry, so every year, millions of them are suffocated or thrown into high-speed grinders called macerators while they are still alive. Production cycle of layer chicken. Lifespan of a hen. Hens may live in backyard flocks for 6 to 8 years, and mostly flocks will produce eggs for 3 to 4 years. The level of egg production, egg size, and shell quality decrease each year. Most commercial layers are kept for 2 to 3 years as their egg production decreases after this time. To keep a small flock producing, owners should plan to retire old hens and add young hens pullets every 2 to 3 years. When do hens begin lay eggs? During ideal day length, 14 to 16 hours light, and with adequate nutrition, housing, and management, hens, depending on breed, should begin producing eggs when they are 18 to 22 weeks old. Do hens lay eggs in the winter? The hen's ovulation is stimulated by the length of the day. Maximum egg production is reached during summer days with the 16 hours of daylight. Egg producing may continue during the spring, fall, and winter when artificial light is supplemented to provide 14 to 16 hours of light. Using a timer and a 60-watt incandescent bulb, add light to the morning and the afternoon. Allow hens to naturally roost in the evenings with the setting sun. Are eggs laid every day? Ovulation, release of the yolk from the ovary, occurs every 24 to 26 hours regardless of fertilization. So a rooster is not needed. A hen ovulates a new yolk after the previous egg was laid. It takes 26 hours for egg to fully form, white and shell added. So a hen will lay an egg later and later each day. Eventually, the hen will lay too late in a day for ovulation to be signaled. She will then skip a day or more before laying another egg. Can laying hen be harvested for meat? You, you may butcher laying hens for more consumption, but as their genetics are for egg production, their meat is tough and there is not as much of it compared to meat type chicken. Stewing laying hen meat makes it more edible, as does using it in soups. Laying hens may have a fair amount of fat that may need to be skimmed from dish being prepared. Feeding and nutrition. A starter diet is about 24% protein, grower diet 20% protein, and finisher diet 18% protein. Layer diets generally have about 16% protein. Special diets are available for broilers, pullets, layers, and breeders. Whole grains can also be provided as scratch grains. Feeding nutritions. A beginning diet has roughly 24% protein, a grower diet has 20% protein, and a finisher diet has 18% protein. The average protein content of a layer diet is around 16%. Broiler, pullets, layers, and breeders can all benefit from special diets. Scratch grains can also be made from whole grains. Housing facilities equipments. Incubator. Incubator, a device for maintaining the eggs of birds to allow them to hatch. Feed bin. These are containers where feed are stored for future use. Feed can also be kept in petroleum cans, which are cheap, rat-proof, and if painted will last longer. The drinking trough. Drinking trough, drinking jars should be large and sufficient enough to supply the water needs to the birds for the whole day. Feeding trough. Feeding troughs, this should be constructed so as to keep the hens scratching. The feeds are wasting it, especially when the birds are laying eggs. Nest. Nest hens or layers lay their eggs in the nest. A nest could be either open or closed. The nest should be built on partition or end wall. Perches. Perches, these are horizontal poles where birds can sit and rest socially during nighttime. Sufficient perches can be constructed to prevent the birds from crowding at night. Dropping board. Dropping board and brooder. Brooder. A brooder is a heated container that can have its temperature controlled in at least one area. It is used to confine chicks with their feed and water until they are 2 weeks old and ready to go outside. Harvesting. Egg harvesting may sound a little scary, but in fact, the egg retrieval is quite non-invasive. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes, and you're put under sedation, so you don't feel a thing. The doctor inserts a needle guided by ultrasound through the wall of the vagina to retrieve the eggs from the ovaries. Although the term egg harvesting may conjure up may conjure up images of a gruesome procedure, the egg retrieval is actually fairly painless. It takes 15 to 20 minutes and you're sedated throughout so you don't feel anything. The doctor uses ultrasonography to guide a needle into the vaginal wall to extract the eggs from the ovaries. Egg marketing. The egg marketing, the greater the distance between producer and consumer, the more complex is the marketing organization required to ensure that the eggs reach consumers in the form. Place and time desired producers may decide to market their produce directly to consumers. Direct marketing or may choose from a variety of marketing organizations that make up marketing channel. The greatest the distance between producer and consumer, the more sophisticated the marketing organization required to assure the eggs arrive in the form, location, and time requested by customers. Producers can choose to sell their products directly to consumers, directly marketing, or through a marketing channel, which includes a range of marketing organizations. Direct marketing includes the following methods of selling: sales from the farm gate, door to door sales, producers markets, and sales to local retail shops. Direct marketing, egg producers who are situated as short distance from consumers may be able to practice direct marketing. Before choosing to sell their products directly to consumers, however, they must evaluate two main factors. First is time. Producers who choose direct marketing have less time for production activities. And the second is cost. Involved in direct marketing, there are four main ways to carry out direct marketing. Sales from farm. Egg may be sold directly from the farm by producers farm gate. This, however, is contingent on consumers' ability and willingness to visit the producer's facilities. The fundamental benefit of farm gate selling is that it allows the producer to earn a market price for eggs without incurring marketing costs. The biggest benefit for consumers is that the eggs will be fresh and of good quality. Door to door sales, street hawking. Some customers prefer to have egg delivered right to their doors. This means that the producer will have to devote time marketing it. Yet customers may value the service and be prepared to pay a fair price for it. Furthermore, the producer can take direct orders from customers and only carry what he or she is confident will be purchased. As seen in photograph 30, eggs can also be sold on the street. Sales to local retail shops. Producers can also sell the local retailers directly. This necessitates a mutual agreement between the two parties on supply, quality, and payment methods. In some cases, it may be possible for producers to sell directly to institutional consumers such as hotels, restaurants, schools, and hospitals. This type of direct marketing, however, requires negotiation, which may result in a written contract of the duties and obligation of both parties. It also requires continual interaction over time between producer and buyer, a standard egg quality agreement, and a constant supply. The producer must carefully evaluate the issues involved, including the regular production and transport of large quantities of eggs. Direct marketing includes the following methods of selling: sales from the farm. Producers may be able to sell eggs direct from the farm or farm gate. Direct marketing includes the following methods of selling: sales from the gate, door-to-door sales, street hawking, producers market, sales to the local retail shops. A typical marketing channel is made up of collectors, assembly, merchants, wholesalers, and retailers. A marketing channel is composed of a set separate but interdependent organizations involved in the process of making a product available to consumers. The use of a marketing channel is convenient, particularly when the producer does not have the time or financial means to carry out direct marketing. Intermediaries are usually able to make the product widely available and accessible because they are specialized and have experience and contacts. A marketing channel is made up of a number of distinct but interconnected businesses that are involved in the process of making product available to customers. When a producer lacks the time or financial resources to conduct direct marketing, using a marketing channel is a good option because they are specialized and have knowledge and contacts. Intermediaries are usually able to make product widely available and accessible. They also have a better grasp on the egg industry. Intermediaries take on the risk of marketing and pay for the good right away. Marketing intermediaries collectors. The initial job of the assembling eggs from various farmers or local country market is done by collectors. They work on a commission basis or by purchasing on their own behalf. This approach is frequently the most cost effective when the quantity of eggs gathered of each stop is small and frequent. Itinerant merchants, producers, assembly, merchants, wholesalers, or their agents, and retailers are the example of collectors. Assembly merchants. Assembly merchants may be divided into the following categories: local assembly market, independent, processor packer, and cooperative processor packer. Local assembly market. In a typical local assembly market, a private firm, a producer cooperative, or municipality provides an enclosed space for the use of sellers. Sales may take place by public auction or by private negotiation, subject to rules such as those quality and payment arrangements. Auctioning requires the eggs to be graded and possibly presented in standardized containers, marked with the identifying names or symbols. The local assembly market provide cold storage facilities for the convenience of market users. Independent packer. This type of enterprise usually purchase eggs either through collectors or directly from producers. The processor packer may pass by the farm and pick up the eggs, or the producer may deliver the eggs to the processing facilities where they are graded and packed. Usually, eggs are sold to wholesalers. However, they are also sold directly to the retailers and institutional consumers such as hotels, restaurants, and hospitals. Cooperative processor packer. The same type of enterprise may be set up and run by a cooperative association of producers. The main advantage is that the business is run by for those who use it, rather than by those who own it. Cooperativeness can be obtained financing, provide extra competition, and independent processor packers and competition to depend independent processors packers and provide an alternative to established intermediaries. Before forming a cooperative, producers should carefully evaluate the markets for eggs, problem in existing markets, channels, and how to remedy them. The degree of know-how the producers have in marketing, rules and regulations, legal status, availability of finances, staffing requirements, and appropriate geographic location. Wholesale distributor. The wholesaling includes all the activities involved in selling goods to those who buy for resale or for business use. The main function of the wholesale distributor is to balance supplies against retail requirements and to take the initiative of bringing produce from areas where it is plentiful and cheap to those where it is relatively scarce and expensive. Wholesalers usually have a good knowledge of the market, access to the best information on the trends and prospects, and working capital carry business risk as requirement. Wholesaler, Wholesalers are usually obtain eggs from central wholesale markets, assembly merchants, collectors, and local country markets. However, in some instances, they go directly to the producers. Eggs may be purchased directly or accepted for sale on a commission basis. Many wholesalers have their own storage facilities. Wholesale distributors may engage specialized transport agencies to transport eggs or operate such services on their own account. Central wholesale markets receive shipments from large farms and from country markets and constitute a supply source where wholesalers and retailers can obtain various types of producers they need. General wholesale markets sell many different products including eggs because it is focus point of many small markets and also the point of contact for suppliers to important groups of consumers. A central market is usually the primary price making mechanism for the production areas it serves. In this way, it balances demand and supply. Retailer. In urban areas, egg sales are made through retailers. Four types of retailers usually carry eggs in their shops. Poultry shops where the only eggs and poultry are sold. Food shops specializing in eggs, poultry, cheese, butter, meat, and fish. General food shops and supermarkets selling all kinds of food and household goods. And meat markets where all types of meat are sold and eggs are also offered for sale. In some instances, retailers buy eggs direct from the product and may have their own processed packing facilities. As we have seen, marketing channels have different organizations that carry out different functions, or it may be possible that an organization carries out more than one function. Vertical integration occurs when more than one of the stage of the marketing channel is carried out by a single organization. For example, a wholesaler may have processing, packing, facilities, retail, outlets, and employ collectors as well. Marketing intermediaries, collectors. Collectors undertake the initial work of assembling eggs from various producers or local country markets. They operate either on a commission basis or by purchasing on their own account. Assembly merchants. Assembly merchants may be divided into the following categories: local assembly market, independent processor packer, and cooperative processor packer. Wholesale distributor. Wholesaling includes all the activities involved in selling goods to those who buy for resale for the business use. The main function of the wholesale distributor is to balance supplies against retail requirements and to take the initiative of bringing produce from areas where it is plentiful and cheap to those who where it is relatively scarce and expensive. Central wholesale markets. Central wholesale markets receive shipments from the large farms and from country markets and constitute a supply source where wholesalers and retailers can obtain the various types of produce they need. General wholesale markets sell many different products including eggs. Marketing intermediaries, retailer, evaluation of the marketing channel. Biosecurity. Biosecurity protocols in individual farms may vary. Common steps include limiting access of the facility to essential personnel, disinfection vehicles that enter, using special biosecurity signage, wearing designated clothing, and utilizing foot baths and specially designed entry-exit systems. Thank you for your attention.